Alright, so today I'm polishing metal, so I'm getting these metal pieces ready to polish. So this is what they look like now. I've taken all the paint off of them and sanded them relatively smoothly. So these pieces are going to be polished aluminum, so I'm going to try to polish them to sort of match the handle up here. So up here, this handle here is polished aluminum, and so I'll repolish that, and so that chrome piece goes right here, the roundish piece goes there, and then back behind the gauge cluster is where that other big piece of aluminum goes. So I thought it would make a good accent to have those three pieces. Michelle is currently painting in here, so that's what all the half white stuff is up here. So she's painting right now, so I'm working the aluminum while she's painting. So that's how we've got it going. So that's the progress so far. Next I'll hit it with the buffing wheel and some brown rouge, and then once I do the initial cut, I will hit it with the white and try to finish it off. So we'll see how it turns out. This is the piece behind the dash. So it was painted with about 4 or 5 different coats of paint. So I'm trying to strip those off now, one at a time. This is the piece that goes over the door hinge, and it has a ton of paint on it as well. So I'm trying to pull these guys off, but this paint is extremely thick. It's like almost like rubbery. So the paint remover is having a hard time getting that stuff off there. So I got a little trash up here that I'm kind of throwing them in, just so we don't make a mess. But so it's coming off, it's just taking a little bit of work. Alright, so I did a test run with the aluminum, just with the polisher, just real quick, just to see, and it's pretty shiny, but I think it would go a little bit better if I sanded it a little bit more before I hit it again. So I'm going to try to sand it, maybe wet sand it with like 800 or 1200, and try to get some of the micro scratches out and just try to make it a little bit smoother, see if that goes better. So we'll try that. I started it, I did a little bit last night. You can kind of see I've done a little bit of cutting on about half of it. So this side over here has not been polished yet, and this side over here I've started to polish. So you can kind of see the shine coming out now. So anyway, I'm going to continue polishing it and see how it goes. It's really dirty, so stuff flies everywhere, and it gets all over your skin and your arms and everything. So anyway, if you decide to do this, just be forewarned that it's a pretty dirty job. So anyway, I'm gonna get to it. Did you zoom it?
Yeah.
Alright, stop it. Alright, so the first initial cut is done. So, it's much shinier than it was. So I'll clean this up a little bit, polish it by hand a little bit, and just to see if I need to rough cut it anymore. If it's good with the rough cut, then I will go ahead and get a final cut on it or a final polish with a white compound. So for reference, this is what it looked like before. So there's quite a difference. It shines up pretty good. So I'm going to keep at it. My face is probably all dirty, but keep at it, and then we'll see how it goes. All right, I'm back. I've cleaned it up a bit, kind of took all the black off of it, so it's starting to look really good. We need a little bit of love kind of in these corners here. We need to hit them just a little bit more, but as you can see, it's pretty shiny, so it's getting there for sure. So I'm gonna keep polishing it and see if I can finish it up. Alright, second cut is done, so it's starting to look better. So I will go ahead and start the final polish, which is the white. So I've been doing it with so this stuff is called Tripoli or Tripoli, and just a buffing rag or a buffing wheel. So that's what I've done the initial cut with. So I'll put a new wheel on. You're not supposed to mix the Tripoli with the finishing compound. So I'll put a new wheel on, and this grinder is like an $18 grinder from Walmart. Do not do this with a grinder that you really like, because it will probably ruin it. It's pretty hot. It's a hot process. It works the grinder pretty hard, so this grinder will probably be ruined after all this is said and done. But anyway, this is what it looks like so far. Alright, round one of cutting. So I've changed the pad, and then this is the white. So I'm going to use the white to now go back over and just get it, finish it off, get it a little bit shinier. So I'll get some video of after that's done. Alright, so that's about halfway done, but it is pretty shiny. Alright, so we just finished cutting with the white, or polishing rather. So this is pretty close to the finished product. I'll hand polish it to get all the black stuff off, but the polish is pretty much there. So that's what I'm going to call complete. So for reference, here's our other part that we haven't done yet. So that is just bare aluminum, and that's after I've polished it. Alright, so this piece is essentially done. Start working this piece. You can see the before shot. It's just a real matte finish. This one I learned from that last one, and I went in and wet sanded it with a 400 grit sandpaper till it's super smooth. Hopefully that'll make the cutting go a little quicker. So last time on that one, I started cutting it and then I realized there's way too many deep scratches, and so I went back and took the 400 sandpaper and wet sanded it in the sink. And so I did that first with this one without needing to test it, so maybe I learned something. But it seems like the smoother you can get the finish, the better the cutting will go. So anyway, this is the before, so this is what it looks like. All right, so, oh, are you recording?
Yeah.
All right, so this is our first cut. So, sanding with a 320 sandpaper, wet sanding made a huge difference. So it looks day and night different already. So it's coming out pretty good. So this is the first cut, and then I will do a finish polish, and it should get it just a little bit shinier.